Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be installing more memory in our Lenovo Legion 5 laptop. We will be upgrading the RAM that we have inside this laptop. As you can see, it only has installed RAM 16 GB and only 13.9 is usable. And having Windows 10 installed on this laptop, I have the memory utilization of 50%. And I'm not running any programs. I only have one browser open with only one tab, and I'm already using 50% of the memory, which means I'm using 8 GB of RAM. And if I will open up Premiere Pro and I will start editing a project with a large amount of files, then my memory will jump up to like 80-90%. And if, for example, I need to use Photoshop to create a thumbnail or to work with a picture, then I will be out of memory right away, like it won't even start. Or if it will start, it will be lagging a lot and I won't be able to be very efficient. So I decided to upgrade this RAM and get a little bit more RAM available for my computer. And I decided to go with only one Transcend DDR4-3200 memory module, because I don't really need 64 GB. I think it will be overkill. But if I want to extend it to like 32 GB, well, I might just do it with only single module. And then I'm also going to keep the other module that I already have there, which is going to be 8 GB, because there are two modules, each one 8 GB. So altogether, we should have 40 GB of RAM. I know this is not the very common way of upgrading your RAM, but I'm just gonna try it out and see if it's gonna work. And this is a Transcend memory module. If we're gonna quickly go through the specs, this is a DDR4 unbuffered SO-DIMM memory stick. It's got a 3200 MHz speed. It's a dual rank, cache latency CL22, 32 gig, 1.2 voltage, 260 pin count. It's got a regular green PCB, nothing fancy. There is no radiators on it, but I don't really need this because it's going to be installed inside the laptop. Why would you need a special PCB if it's going to be installed where you're not going to see it? It has excellent capability, durable construction, guaranteed speed, JEDEC standard design, 100% quality tested, lifetime warranty. Well, lifetime warranty, this is great. Yeah, usually the RAM is pretty durable and it's pretty reliable. Anyway, here's our module here, and it is model number JM3200HSE-32G. So it's a 32 GB module, it's a dual rank, and of course it's a DDR4 3200 MHz. You can get a cheaper one if you're going with the 2600 MHz, and honestly I don't think there's gonna be much difference in speed. But I decided to go with 3200, just pay a little bit extra and get a little bit higher clock speed. Hopefully get a little bit better performance than just regular 2666 megahertz. And by the way, if we're gonna go to the CPU-Z program, this is a pretty cool program. It allows you to see a lot of different specs as far as your computer. It gives you all the information for the CPU, motherboard, memory, graphic card. It gives you a lot of cool information about all your computer specs. Today we are interested in memory, so as you can see I got the total size of 16 GB DDR4. It's a 2 by 64 bit channel. If we go to the SPD, it shows that I got two slots and both of the slots are populated with exact same RAM. It's a DDR4-3200 and each module is 8 GB. It's a Samsung module and it is a pretty good memory, but I just need to upgrade more. So I'm only gonna upgrade only one slot. I'm not gonna do them both because otherwise I would end up with 64 GB of RAM, and it is good, but it's quite expensive and I don't think I'm gonna need the 64 GB for my usage. But upgrading only one slot allows me to keep the other 8 GB RAM stick in the second slot and also add another 32 gig to my memory. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up and disassemble this laptop and get it installed. And before we start, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss new videos. And if you will find this video helpful and you like it, please support it with your like. I appreciate it guys very much. And let's get started. All right, so let's also go ahead and do some memory tests. This way we will know if that other memory that we have installed is actually giving us extra performance as well as capacity. I'm not actually looking to gain any extra performance. I'm mostly looking to get more memory volume. This way I can open more apps at the same time. But let's go ahead and just quickly test it right now. I have closed all other apps, so basically I'm not doing anything else at this moment. I'm only going to perform this test. So let's go ahead and click on memory read test, and we're going to start. All right, so there we go. So after the test, as you can see, the read speed is 42,219 megabyte per second. This is a dual DDR4-3200 with a cache latency of CL22. So we're going to keep all these results, and then we're going to compare it to the other results that we're going to get after we install the memory. Let's also do the write test. Okay, so the write test is 23,887 megabyte per second. Let's also run a memory copy test. There we go. So the memory copy test is complete and we're getting 36,468 megabyte per second. Pretty good results. Let's also do the memory latency test. So the latency test is 101 nanosecond. Okay, let's go ahead and install the memory and see how it's going to work.
First thing first, before you start disassembling any electric device, you want to make sure it's disconnected from power. And since it's a laptop, it has a built-in battery, and we want to make sure that this battery is also disconnected. So first thing we want to do, we want to go to the BIOS, then go to the More Settings. On the left tab, you got to find Configuration. Then just got to scroll down where you find Disable Built-in Battery. As you can see, you have this option in Lenovo Legion laptops, which is really great. So you just got to click on that, and then it says the system will be powered down. If you select yes, you just got to click yes. Do you want to proceed? Once you click yes, it will just shut down the laptop, and then you're going to be safe to disassemble it. Unplug the power cord from the laptop because it still has power going from the wall outlet. Right now we have the power supply unplugged, so let's get to the disassembly process. So the first step you want to do, you make sure to unplug all the Bluetooth adapters or any USB sticks that are still in the USB ports, and of course disconnect all HDMI cables and so on. So you just work on the laptop itself. Usually the Bluetooth adapters are the one that might cause some issues if you don't notice them. As you can see on the back, there are 10 screws that are holding the back cover to the laptop. So we want to unscrew them all before we can get to the next step. And I highly recommend downloading the service manual and printing the page that's going to be showing where those screws are and where the clips are, because this will help you to safely disassemble the laptop and without breaking any clips or potentially even breaking the cover. So yeah, make sure you do that. But if you're watching this video and you're working on this exact model, then you're going to be no problem because I'm going to show you exactly where those screws and clips are. And I'm just going to fast forward it so you don't have to wait for very long. And just a quick tip for you guys, if you find that these screws are recessed pretty deep there and you cannot get them out, you can use a small magnet and then just attach it to the screwdriver, and this will help it to lift it off that recessed hole, so you can get them out pretty easy. As you can see, they just get stuck to the screwdriver, or if you have a magnetic screwdriver, that would work as well. All right, let's get it done. As you can see, according to the service manual, there are a multitude of latches on each side. So there are 4 in the front, 4 in the back, and 3 on each side. Plus there's 1 in the middle. So you got to be careful not to break them. So to pry it up, I usually use like a guitar pick. Actually, you can buy them from any repair kit for like cell phones. They're pretty thin, but they're still pretty sturdy so that they're not going to bend. And they're also not going to damage the material of the laptop. This way, you're not going to leave any scratches. And it is a very slow job, especially if you've never done it. You got to be careful because if you don't want to pry it up too fast because it might break some latches and then it may not close the same way. So yeah, just gotta take your time, slowly find those latches and slowly pry them up. I will fast forward this video, but if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to help you if you run into any problems, so drop your comments in the comment section below. Another tool that I like to use is this little plastic pry bar. It is made out of sturdy plastic, so it also doesn't bend, but it doesn't damage the plastic, so that works very good as well. So you can use a combination of these tools to pry up the latches on this laptop and find what works best for you. As you can see, I got it almost pried up and almost all the latches are released, but the most difficult part is where the side vents for the fans are, and there are 3 latches there and they're pretty tough and pretty difficult to release, so you got to be patient and be careful not to break them. But overall, it's not that difficult of a job. I prefer using the thin guitar pick for this because it's much thinner than that other pry bar tool and it works very good. So yeah, just got to be patient and keep doing it. So once we get all the clips and latches released from the sides and from the front and the back, as per the service manual diagram, there is also one latch in the middle, so it should pop up as soon as you lift the bottom cover. So basically you just gotta pull it up until you hear that click and then the bottom cover will come off. There we go, so it comes off pretty easy. Let's have a quick look at the bottom cover. As you can see, there is this middle latch over here, located almost in the middle under the fan vents. And yeah, this is the last latch that's holding the bottom cover. And yeah, overall, everything is well thought, like all the components in this Lenovo laptop. I'm really impressed with the quality of this laptop. So let's have a look at the battery. As you can see, this is a 60 watt hour battery that is included in this particular model. You can get a model with the 80 watt hour battery as well. And as you can see, there is a lot of room still left for the bigger battery that you can install yourself, or if you buy in a model that already comes with the 80 watt hour battery, this is where it's going to be located. But I'm using it mostly plugged into the wall outlet, so I don't really need that large battery. Another thing worth mentioning is that this laptop's got a very good cooling system. It's got dual fan like most gaming laptops, but it has a very thick heat pipes and they're also connected together so that CPU and GPU are connected together, so the heat is going to be dissipated much better. And under this metal shield, there are 2 slots for M2 and NVMe SSDs. Here's a compartment for the memory modules, so we just got to take off this metal radiator slash cover off, and then we can access to the memory modules. Let's go ahead and pull it off. So I'm just using this little plastic pry bar, just get it over this edge here. And then just carefully lift up one edge and then just carefully lift it up. There we go. Let's have a look at what memory modules we got here. These are the Samsung memory modules that came originally with this Lenovo Legion 5 laptop. So let's go ahead and pull them out. To pull out the RAM on any laptop, you just gotta pull back 2 of these metal tabs. Sometimes they could be plastic, but most of the time they're metal. Just pull them outwards at the same time and the memory is going to pop up and it's going to stay at the 45-degree angle. Then you can just easily pull it out. Let's have a quick look at the memory modules that we got here. As you can see, these modules are Samsung modules and they have indeed installed a pretty good memory in this laptop. This is a DDR4-3200.
The only thing that I wish they would install more volume. As you can see, it is a single rank, just as we saw in the CPU-Z program, and they're specifically made for Lenovo. Okay, let's go ahead and install the new memory that we got here. Let's go ahead and open up the package. And when you pull it out, try not to touch the contacts so you don't leave any fingerprint or any dirt on those contacts, or they don't get scratched or damaged, because it might malfunction if it happens. Let's have a closer look at this module. As you can see, it is the same DDR4 form factor, and it is a 32 gigabyte SODIMM, dual rank, 1.2 volt. Pretty cool. I still remember when there was DDR2 and you could get the maximum of 2 gigabyte per module, which was enough back then. But now I have a small netbook that only has 2 gigabyte of memory and it cannot work at all. Actually, if you want to check out my other video where I have installed Lubuntu on it, Lubuntu is a lightweight operating system from Linux, and this helped it to actually be operational, because with modern operating systems such as Windows, it wasn't even able to run at all. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. Let's go ahead and install the RAM. The installation procedure will be similar to the uninstallation. Just got to make sure that the notch on the memory stick is going to be aligned with the notch on the motherboard. As you can see on the motherboard, in that slot, you have the notch. So you want to make sure that the notch on the slot matches up with the notch on the RAM stick. Then put it at a 45-degree. It's going to stay there. Make sure it's aligned properly, and then just gently push it down on both edges until you hear a click. Both of these latches are locked up. This way the RAM is installed properly and it will work no problem. Alright, let's go ahead and do some tests and see how it's going to perform. Okay, let's go ahead and check out if it has recognized all the RAM that we have installed. And yeah, look at that. We have the installed memory, 40 gigabytes, and 35.9 gigabyte is usable. It's always going to be less than what you actually have installed. But anyway, it works, and we got 40 gigabytes, 32 plus 8. And let's go ahead and open up the CPU-Z program. As you can see here in memory, it says DDR4 40 gigabyte. So we indeed got 40 gigabyte of RAM here. Let's go ahead and check out the SPD tab. There we go. So the slot number 1, we still have the 8 gigabyte module from Samsung. This is the original one that came with Lenovo. And in slot number 2, we got the 32 gigabyte Transcend memory stick, which also, by the way, has Samsung memory. Okay, let's go ahead and perform a few tests to see how it works. So I have decided actually to do a little bit more fundamental test than I was originally thinking about. So I have done extra 3 tests with different configurations. So the first test that I have done after installing extra 32 gigabyte of RAM, I have done it with 40 gigabytes of RAM. So I was doing with 2 sticks, 8 plus 32 gigabyte, 40 gigabytes in total. Then another test was with only one 32 gigabyte RAM stick without the original 8 gigabyte RAM stick. And the last test was with only one 8 gigabyte RAM stick. So we could see the difference in speed and how it performs in single and dual channel mode and what role it plays in performance. So I will speed up this test and then summarize them all in one table, so it will be more visual, so you can see the difference between the different RAM configurations and see how it actually works. So as we can see from this memory test results, when we've been testing the original memory 16 gigabyte 8x8 RAM sticks, the read speed and the copy speed were much higher, and this is because it was operating in the dual channel mode. Unlike when we had the 8 gigabyte plus 32, it was still operating in the dual channel mode, but it was limited due to the different memory module size. And what I mean by that, since the one module was only 8 gigabyte and another one was 32 gigabyte, only 8 gigabyte of that 32 gigabyte was able theoretically to run in a dual channel mode, and the rest 24 gigabyte of that memory module wasn't able to run in the dual channel mode because the other RAM stick was only 8 gigabyte, right? So I'm pretty sure that this results, the drop in the read speed and the copy speed that we see in this table, is due to the different module size. If we would have had 2 of the 32 gigabyte memory modules, it would be able to work in the proper dual channel mode, and then we wouldn't see this performance drop. As you can see, I have also tested just a single 32 gigabyte memory module, and then I have also tested only one 8 gigabyte module that came originally with this laptop, and they were both operated in the single channel mode because there was only one memory module. And as you can see, the results are really comparable. We are getting 24,260 megabyte per second on the read for the 32 gigabyte module versus 24,973 for the 8 gigabyte module. So the 8 gigabyte module is just a tiny bit faster, but it could also vary from run to run. I've done another run and the results were like another 100-200 megabytes difference, so it could change depending how fast your CPU is working, because it's all related to the CPU work as well, and it could change depending on the CPU clock speed. But on another hand, the write speed for the 32 gigabyte module is 23,958, which is almost 24,000, and the 8 gigabyte module is 20,966, which is almost 21,000. So we did 3,000 megabyte per second faster than the 8 gigabyte module. The copy is also faster. So looking at this table, we can get a clear understanding how it works. As you can see, if you get in two of the same modules, for example, you get an 8x8, you get the proper dual channel mode, which gives you a real boost in performance versus just a single channel mode. As you can see, we're jumping from almost 25,000 megabyte per second to 42,000 megabyte per second in a dual channel mode. So this is a great improvement in performance. In the write test, we don't get such big difference, but we still get an improvement of almost 3000 megabyte per second from single to dual channel mode. In the copy test, it was pretty good. We're getting another almost 15,000 megabyte per second extra. The latency test stays almost the same, doesn't change much. So if you're looking to gain more performance from your memory, I would definitely recommend going with the two exact same sticks, because then you're gonna get much higher speed. But honestly, I think these results are still pretty clear. Even looking at the 40 gigabyte test, where I had 8 plus 32 gigabyte memory sticks together, having more than 25,000 megabyte per second read speed, I think this is going to be plenty for what I'm doing. If you're looking to play some highly demanding games, then you might see some frame drop. But if you're working with other apps, I don't think you're going to really notice difference. If I wouldn't seen these numbers, I probably would never notice the difference. And after I have installed this memory and run the computer, it runs really smooth. I don't really notice any difference, but if you run this test, then yeah, you can see the difference. But anyway, this is what we got for the results. I hope this will be helpful for you and will let you decide which memory you need for your laptop. Let me know in the comment section below which memory you have picked for your laptop and how much memory you're going to install in your laptop. I might be even upgrading to 64 gigabyte in the future. We'll see how it goes, if I'm gonna need more memory. After I have installed the 32 gigabyte RAM stick and got 40, I noticed that my work editing machine, my Premiere Pro, it's actually using all the memory that I got, and it uses up to 30 gigabyte. So if I install even more memory, it might be using like 45, 50 gigabyte, which will even let it work a lot faster. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss new videos. I appreciate it guys very much. This will help me grow my channel and bring you more interesting and helpful videos. And if you find this video helpful and interesting, please support it with a like, and I hope you have a nice day. See you soon. Bye bye.